Hello and good evening. It's 23rd of October. It's about 8:05 p.m. here in New York, and we are going to start our Selenium class for the 2013 October batch. All right, first of all, I want to welcome you all, and particularly to those folks who are joining us for the very first time. If you have not taken any classes with us in the past, and if this is the first time you are coming here to audit the class, first want to start off with welcoming you. A little bit of introduction. We'll talk for a few minutes about the way we're going to be running this program. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me if you have any specific question about this course or about the whole program. Well, we, as you all know, this is a software testing training company, and we provide a lot of trainings and different tools, and majority of our courses they're all listed out here, and this is particularly Selenium training, and in this Selenium training I'm going to walk you through as what exactly we're going to be covering as a part of this training. Now if you come to our website, on our website, anywhere on our website, if you want to navigate and look into the courses, of course, you go into the courses, and particularly for Selenium training, you will be clicking on Selenium training, and this is basically what we cover as a part of the Selenium course. It is a 1 month long course, meaning that we'll be meeting on Mondays and Wednesdays. Today is Wednesday, and this is a Monday-Wednesday class, so we would be meeting from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 2 sessions in a week for about 4 weeks. So a total of 16 hours of live training with me. And on top of that, you would be getting videos. So if you register with us after this session, if you decide to register with us, as soon as you complete the registration, we will be sending you videos, and you can start off your training and you can get started with that. No, this is not a QTP class. This is a Selenium class. QTP class is on 30th of October. That's what we have mentioned in the previous class. So you can log out, and you could come back and on 30th. All right, so now as far as this training is concerned, if you buy a single course, the pricing is somewhere between $349 and $399, depending on what course you are enrolling into. But if you buy as a package, then these courses, they come for $100 per piece. We have different courses, as you can see: SOAP UI, Selenium, and QTP, Java, and mobile apps, and advanced QTP, yada yada yada. So I'm not going to be talking here, promoting these courses. So at your leisure, go into the website and take a look into what we have. And then if this piques your interest, then you could go and then register into it. There are lot of free videos available here. You can watch those free videos if that helps you in making a decision of joining or not joining. These videos are helpful in you concluding whether you should take this training or not. Now, as far as today's session is concerned, we will be starting in about a few minutes as far as Selenium course is concerned. Now, if you have, as I said, I'm repeating myself, but if you have any particular questions, feel free to type in your chat box, and I would be able to read that, and then if I'm in the middle of my thought, I will complete my thought, and then I will address that concern. You could also talk to me if you want to. The way you can talk to me is clicking on that little palm icon, and that will flash next to your name, and I can unmute you, and then you can talk to me. So these are a couple of ways of interacting with us. Now, as far as the course contents are concerned, they are listed out here. I'm not going to read to you, but if you basically need to go and then look into what we're going to be covering. So these are the topics which we'll be covering as a part of this course. Now, how and what you would be learning when you complete this course, and what would you be qualifying as when you complete this course. Renee, I will come to that question in a second. Let me quickly, tell them about what they would be learning, and then I'll talk about the tools. To quickly answer that question, you are not paying any penny to buy any tools because it's an open source. Selenium is open source, so you're not going to be paying anything to buy any tool, and every single tool can be downloaded free of cost from the internet, and I will be showing you how to do that as a part of this course. And to make your life easy, I have those tools readily available, and you could download those tools. Once you register, I will walk you through where to download those tools from. Now, what is Selenium and why we should be learning Selenium? Now, if you are a tester, if you have been testing, you know majority of you folks probably are manual testers, and or you are automated testers, but you have done a similar tool like QTP. So QTP is kind of like a competition to Selenium, or I should say Selenium is giving a big competition to QTP. Both of these tools are GUI tools, meaning that if you have an application, they are going to go and then test that application. Now, talking about an application, as you all know, there are different types of applications out there. So what is Selenium going to test? So here is a quick explanation of how Selenium is going to help you do the testing. As you all recall, when it comes to software applications, there are different types of applications. So if we have to classify software applications, I would say that software applications falls into these three categories. There are something called a client server applications, and then there are web applications, and finally there are mobile applications. All right, so now you need to test these tools. So if you are a manual tester, right, I want it to be a happy face, not like a dragon, happy face. Now you can rate. I don't want you to rate me based on my drawings, because as you can see, I mean, I'm not that good as far as drawing is concerned. But let's come back. So if you are a manual tester, you have probably tested client-server apps, and you already have tested web apps. Or maybe some of you are also doing mobile apps testing if you're a manual tester. So with manual testing, what you need is basically your test cases. You are coming up with the test cases. You write your test cases, and then you need some test management, test case management tools. There are a lot of tools out there. There is something called a QC. There is something called a Jira, and then there is a lot of tools out there which you could be using to do your manual testing and test managing of those test cases. Now, with automated testing, what you're doing is you will be writing those similar test cases, and then you would be automating those tests. Why would you need to automate a test? Because manual testing is, I don't want to call it boring, but it is tedious, right? It is, you got to keep doing it again and again and again and again, right? So there's a pretty good chance or there is a probability that while you are testing, a human being is testing, he or she might make some mistakes. And on top of that, it's a very, very time-consuming process. So if you need to go and then test like 100 test cases on an application with different sets of data coming from, then manual testing is not going to help it, right? In that case, you have to go and then use some automated testing tools. So there are a bunch of automated testing tools which are out there, right? So QTP is the most popular one out there, and right now there is something called Selenium. So if we have to go and then list out the rest of them, there are at least like 25 other different tools. Now, but these two are supposed to be the most popular ones out there. Of course, QTP has been around for a while, so it's a matter of supply and demand. There was a demand for QTP, huge demand for QTP about like 2 years back, or even today there is a demand. But I would like to take away the huge, part of it, because there is demand, but it's not like that huge, because of the fact that there's a lot of abundance of supply of people who know QTP. That is not necessarily the case for Selenium. The reason for that is Selenium is a little bit challenging to learn. Oh, so here we go. I don't want to scare you with that statement. Even though I said that it's a little bit challenging to learn. You have to put me to task to make sure that I can train you well in Selenium. This probably is, I think, our 21st or 22nd batch in Selenium. We have been doing online training for a little over 2.5 to close to 3 years now, and every month we pretty much conduct a Selenium class and a SOAP UI class and a QTP class and all that. So since we are doing it for almost like 2.5 to close to 3 years, so this is, I think, my 22nd batch. So I can tell you, on an average, in every class we have about a dozen to 15 people, and so if we go with that number, I would say that about 60% of the people, they are getting jobs, right? So that's pretty high ratio, right? So, but let's look at the flip side of it. That means that there are 40% of the students who are not getting those jobs. So I don't want you to be in this group. I want you to be in this group. So how can you put yourself into this group? So there are certain things which we want you to do, and if you do that, even though however challenging it is to learn, if you follow our procedures, if you allow me to take your hand, and then if you walk with me for the next 4 weeks, for the next 8 sessions, and do everything which I want you to do, then I can promise that you have an excellent chance of getting a job in Selenium. Why? Because there is still a huge demand in Selenium. So the question now is, why is the demand moving away from QTP into Selenium? Well, if you look into QTP is from HP, right? It's a commercial tool. Commercial tool meaning a company has to fork out almost like $10,000 to buy a license of QTP. A single one license of QTP is going to cost almost like 10 grand. So let's say if there are like 3 automated testers, before even we could write a single line of code, there is almost like a $30,000 to $40,000 of investment. Now, you don't have that here in Selenium. Why? Because it's an open source. Now, I can talk recently about 4 or 5 months back. We were working on a project that was more of a mobile app project, and we were looking out at different tools to test that, right? And then we standardize on a couple of tools which I teach in my mobile apps testing training. But at that time, one of the candidate was Selenium. We never even looked into QTP, even though the latest version of QTP, which is UFT 11.5, does mobile testing. But we did not look into it because the very first thing which we looked into was before even we could do anything, there was almost like a $40,000 to $50,000 of an investment, and we did not. Majority of the companies, they don't want to do that, right? So that's why that is the reason people are going into Selenium. But there is also a misconception that if something is free, because open source means that it is free. So if something is free, people suspect that maybe it is not, that good of a product that they have given it out for free. Now that misconception has been put to rest when a company of the magnitude of Google, right, hugely popular company like Google, and their stock is trading at $1,000, right? I mean, there's no other company, software company, can come close to it. And they have with open arms, they have implemented Selenium, as they have decided Selenium as their testing tool for all their apps. So majority of their, whether it is Google Drive or Gmail or any of their, tools which they offer are being tested in Selenium. So likewise, most of the financial trading companies, if I have to take names, I would say that TD Ameritrade is pretty big when it comes to Selenium. They have hired a lot of people in Selenium. In fact, people who have got trained through us, they're working for that company and making good, decent money there. If all those other folks, if they can do it, you can do it too, right? Now, what is that we need to know in order to learn Selenium? Okay, first thing first, it is I want you to please bear with me for a few minutes, and then I'm going to get started. We are here 1, and this is 8, right? And what is this? This is the first session, right? And this is the 8th session. So of course this is timeline. So as we are moving in time, this is the first week, second week, third week, fourth week, 6, 7, 8, right? And this is your expertise, right? Or your learning or your expertise in Selenium, right? So for some of you, don't get offended, but probably we are here. This is the first week, and this is 0 to 100%. Let's say this is measured in percent. So let's say we don't know much about it. We have 0% of Selenium knowledge. Now, this course will pretty much go with this. The objective is like that, meaning that at the end of my 8th week, I want to transfer my knowledge in such a way that you get almost 100%. This is what is called the happy path scenario, right? Meaning that if everything is good, if I teach good, if you follow everything, this should be the end result. At the end of the 8th session, you are here. Now, from my experience of what I have been teaching, I can tell you the graph is going to go something like that, right? Something like that. So for some, it is going to be like that. For some, it is going to be like that. For some, no, this is not right. The knowledge, you don't drain your knowledge unless you totally give up, right? But this is the objective. This is the objective. Now, there is one thing which I'm hiding from you, and that one thing is time. We cannot stop. Eventually we will finish it, right, at the end of the 8th session. Knowledge, I will do my best, right? There is a cost you will pay for this. The cost is your stress level, right? So literally your stress level is also gonna go up like that, right? I mean, right now you are like relaxed, much relaxed, zero stress and all that. Come week 1, week 2, you will be at 20% stress. Week 3, 30% stress. Why? Because I'm going to be giving you lot of knowledge. So if you keep up with me, right? If you do what is called the assignments, right? Now you can measure your rate of success based on completion of these assignments. We will give you 8 assignments. If you find yourself completing these assignments, if you find that, okay, at the end of week 1, which is session 1, which is today, I will give you an assignment. If you can submit the assignment by this week 2, then you're good. Then you're climbing here. By week 3, if you can submit the second, then you are there. If you are not submitting the assignment, that means that your curve is going to go this way. Your learning curve is going to go, and your transfer of or your learning or your knowledge is not going to go. All right. So bottom line of plotting this graph was to give you an idea that if you listen to anything and everything which we tell you to do, I assure you, I almost guarantee you success. I almost guarantee you success, right? Now, there's a question here is, will you help with the assignments? Well, I will, there are two ways of answering that question, right? You probably would not be the first person doing the assignment, right? We have tons of people who have taken this course in the past. They have completed these assignments, and we will put you into a group, right? We'll put you in a group, and whenever you have a question, let's say you're completing the assignment, and if you have a question, post your question into that group. So many people from the previous batches and all that, they have done that, so they will try to help you. And if they don't help you, then I will come in and then I will try to help you with the assignment. So I don't want to quickly help you at the very first minute that, okay, if you have a question and I'm helping you with the answer. That way, you will sort of like start to depend on me. And I don't want you to depend on anybody but yourself. Or you have to find a way of getting the answer. So let me intentionally throw you out into that group so that you can start posting your questions there, do some research, and then if you still cannot get the answers to that, then I will help you, definitely would help you with the answers. All right, so that's that. I have somebody here, Nisha. If I answered your question, then I will not unmute you, but if you still need to talk to me, because I see your hand raised, so I can unmute and then you can talk to me. So did I answer your question or you still need to talk? Okay, I guess I did. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so let's see how many of you would like to travel this route, right? You'd say, all of, I mean, who would not? I mean, who would not try to get like almost 100% of this knowledge? Now, at the end of this, right, climbing the mountain, there is something for you. What is that something for you? I mean, I'm not going to give you that, right? So let's see what is there something for you at the end of that. So let us go to dice.com and see is what this guy is saying. Is it true if I put in this much of an effort? Are there jobs in Selenium? There you go. We are doing a search. Trust me. There you go. I never taught her. Right? She's our model. Anyways, so coming back, basically, as you can see here, there are tons and tons of jobs in Selenium, right? Depending on where you are, every part of the country, Midwest, Chicago, you know, Northeast, New Jersey, Richmond, Virginia, San Francisco, I mean, you name it, right? So you have jobs. Now, I will train you in such a way that you will, and I intentionally, mean it, that you will face some stress as we start learning, right? They say that no pain, no gain, right? So this is what I would like you to do. For the next 4 weeks, 8 sessions, every week we do 2 sessions, right? So this is week 1, this is week 2, this is week 3, and this is week 4. So let's say in next 4 weeks, if you have certain commitments, let's say if you have to take your daughter to dance classes, or if you have to take your son to, some practice for basketball, or if your mother-in-law is coming and you have to take care of her, then don't bother to enroll into this course. Save your money. Don't do that, right? But if you can give, let's say you Monday and Wednesday, 2 hours, you will come as a part of this course. So in a week, anyhow, you will spend 4 hours in a week anyhow as a part of this course. Apart from that, if you can give, let's say 1 hour every day, and weekends, let's say off. So 5 days, 5 hours. 5 hours plus 4 hours. So we are talking about 9 to 10 hours. So let's say 10 hours per week for next 4 weeks. So 40 hours. If you can give me 40 hours, I can I'm promising you, guaranteeing you that you would get a job which is somewhere, I mean, it all depends like what part of the country you are, but the going rate right now is somewhere between, I would say, 35 to 60, and I'm being very conservative now, right? Majority of the manual testers kind of like are coming close to that number. So I'm being I'm not over promising you anything, right? I mean, if I really wanted to start off, I could say that, okay, you would get somewhere between $50 and $75, and there is a very good chance that you would get per hour, you would make that kind of money. But let me go with a conservative number, this number, right? So if you want to make that, and let's take an average, $50 per hour, that money you will make. That is my promise. If you do my 8 assignments, if you complete my 8 assignments, and if you keep up with me, right? And that's what I'm promising you, at least $50 an hour. Now, there are certain prerequisites for this course. Now, this is not true for everybody. There are certain prerequisites for this course. What are the prerequisites for the course? Well, here are the prerequisites. If you have done any programming in the past life, right? If you have done any programming, it doesn't matter while you were in college, while you were doing your bachelor's degree, master's degree, or if you have done any programming, anything like, let's say, C++, or if you have done any Java, or if you have done any Visual Basic, or if you have done any C#.NET, or Perl, or Python, or anything, any programming, PHP, doesn't matter, any programming if you have done, right, then this learning Selenium would be a piece of cake for you, piece of cake. You're going to be like whistling all the time, singing songs and enjoying it, right? Well, let's say you have not done any programming, right? Well, then the challenge is on me, right? It is equally on me to make sure that I make you learn whatever is needed. I'm not going to make you a programmer. I'm not going to make you a programmer out of you, but I will give you enough of programming knowledge that we can create what? We can create automated test scripts. Automated test scripts. When we talk about automation, then we have to know some programming language. You cannot become an automated tester without a programming knowledge. That is impossible, because automation is creating or building scripts, and for that you need a programming language. Now, there are some shortcuts. There is something called recording, right? You could go and then you could record a script, right? But that's, I mean, if I have to cheat somebody, if I have to deceive somebody, I could just say that, yeah, it's fine. Just, you don't really need to write the scripts and all that. You just have to. No, that is wrong. If somebody is suggesting you that, you could do Selenium by just recording. Recording is there. It is available. But they're not going to pay you $50 per hour if you can do the recording. Anybody can. I mean, I have a 13, 14-year-old daughter. She can do the recording. I mean, is somebody going to pay her $50 per hour? No. So you have to know a little bit more than that. And what is that little bit more than that? You have to know some programming, and that is what we are going to teach. Now, the question is, to learn programming, you have to use a language, right? So which language does Selenium use? If you know QTP uses a language called VB scripting. It's a scripting language. Now, Selenium can use any of the many languages. It can use Java. It can use C#, it can use Perl, it can use Python, it can use different languages. Now, we're not going to be doing all that. Why we are not learning all the languages? Because if you look for jobs, majority of the companies, they are asking you Selenium with Java, right? So I am going to teach you this course in that. When somebody hears the name Java, they're literally like, oh, gosh, man, he's trying to teach me Java. I hate programming. Well, again, here is one more time, I'm repeating myself. I am not making you a programmer. You're not going to compete with a programmer. I will be teaching you enough of Java so that you can write your test scripts, you can execute your test scripts, you can create, excellent what? Framework. So we will be creating some frameworks. I will be helping you to design some frameworks, right? So that is basically the agenda which we have for this next 4 weeks, right? Okay, to give you an idea, if you go back and look into the course outline, and I'm not going to read every bullet here. Now, many a times people, they ask, are you teaching complete Selenium or are you teaching only few things in Selenium? Now, you have to understand, there is a reason I had these dotted lines here, right? There are 3 components of Selenium. There is Selenium IDE, there is Selenium RC, and then there is Selenium WebDriver. And as you can see, I'm teaching all 3. Now, let's look into, what is hot in the industry, what is hot in the market right now. I mean, I don't want to teach you, I don't want to take your time and invest your time, spend your time in learning something which is kind of like, if not obsolete, or very rarely used. So Selenium IDE, even though it is very important, but it is only a recording. It's a way of recording your scripts. So how much of recording it is going to help? Now, if you are going to become a pilot, right, you got to know everything. You got to know as how to take off. You got to know as how to fly the plane. You got to know as how to land the plane. You just cannot be, saying that, okay, I know as how to do an autopilot. So this recording is more like an autopilot, right? So it's like putting it on cruise. You should know how to push brake. You should know how to take a reverse if you're driving a car, not like flying a plane. You would say that, how do you fly a plane in reverse? I was talking about the car. Anyway, coming back, basically, so we would be spending enough time on these different parts of Selenium. So that makes us talk about a little bit about what are the different things which we'll be doing. So here are the different things which we intend to cover as a part of this course. Number 1, Selenium as a tool comes in 3 forms, right? Selenium RC Server and Selenium WebDriver. Okay, now this is used only for record and play or run purpose, right? Recording. And RC Server is kind of like a deprecated, right? Deprecated means it's no longer being encouraged to use, right? So you would say that if it is deprecated, if it is not being used, why are you even spending time teaching that? Well, the reason for that is if you walk into a job where they already have Selenium implemented for years, like for the past 3 years, they have been doing Selenium, let's say. So they had a very nice senior guy, right, who had created good Selenium scripts in RC Server. And this guy, he found a good opportunity someplace else, right? So for whatever reason, so he left and he went there. So now it brings an opening for you. So you are walking in, but you are not starting anything new. You are going to maintain and then probably add something more to it. So if you are going to maintain, then you have to look into these scripts which are already there, and they are written in RC Server. So you have to have an idea of what is RC Server, right? Like you have to have an idea of IDE. So in terms of the coverage, I would be covering this for like 1 or maybe 1.5 session. This maximum, another 1.5 session for that. So probably together it will be like 3 sessions. The remaining 5 sessions, our focus 10 hours would be on our WebDriver, right? So we will be creating what is called, we'll be designing frameworks. So when we are creating a framework, as a tester, as a automated tester, they have given us some ready-made, already available ready-made frameworks. There is something called JUnit framework, and then there is something called NG or TestNG framework. So we will be using some of these ready-made frameworks which are available to us, right? While we design our own, this is going to be our own framework, we will use some of these ready-made frameworks. And then we will, in order to create the scripts, we will be using Selenium IDE. Probably I'll show it to you today, and I'll finish it off today, or maybe, you know, next class, maybe 10 more minutes in the next class, and then we'll be done. All right, and then we'll start off RC server, will be done. So we will be using this IDE and RC server. What are we doing? I am helping you create automated test scripts. Today you will see how we will be creating them, automated test scripts. But these automated test scripts which we'll be creating, right, they are not necessarily the most popular ones. The popular ones are here, WebDriver. So that is going to be our focus, right? Okay, so when you create automated test scripts, you need to have a tool to run the scripts which you have created. That tool is basically going to be Eclipse, right? So I will be showing you as how to use Eclipse as a tool to create and to execute automated test scripts written using Selenium and Java. So we will be using Java language and creating Selenium automated test scripts in a tool called Eclipse, right? And while we are creating, we will also be using something called JUnit and something called TestNG. And after we create these tests, right, when we are executing these tests, right, there is a pretty good chance that we will not be executing this test at 2 in the morning, because we have to go and we have to schedule these tests to get executed. So we will not be sitting at work at 2 in the morning and in Eclipse we'll go and then click on run to run these tests. So we want to schedule them and we want them to run based on another tool, and that tool basically is called AND, right? AND. So I will be showing you AND, and I will be showing you Eclipse. I'll be showing you how to use JUnit, TestNG, and while creating these automated scripts, right? We need to use few other things. There are things called Firebug. There's something called FirePath. So I'll be showing you as how to use Firebug, FirePath, and I'll be showing you as how to create those automated scripts, and I will be showing you as how to write those scripts in Java. So if you need to write the scripts in Java, we don't know anything in Java, so we have to start and learn Java. So I will keep one session, complete 2 hours. I will teach you anything and everything that is needed for you to do the automated testing. So you would ask me, you would say that I don't know anything about Java. How can I do that? Well, here is it, right? I am good. Now you would say that, is one session enough? What do you think? I mean, somebody can learn it in 2 hours and then become. Now, one session, I will show you the most important things, but then I will give you probably around a total of 30 hours of videos I will give you. So remember, I told you I need your 40 hours in this 1 month, right? 40 hours. So you will be watching the videos, you'll be doing the assignment, and then you will literally put your hands on and do that. So you would learn. Eventually you would learn, right? So you would learn. Okay, so the ant is not that an insect, right? It stands for another neat tool. Another neat tool. So A-N-T, ant. All right. So we will be learning Firebug. We will be learning this. So now, basically, what we will be doing is, just to give you some idea here, right? We will be testing the applications. So this is going to be a web application. A web application is a website, right? Take any website, you name it. Probably you would be working for Verizon or maybe for AT&T or for T-Mobile. So you are saying that why is it just talking about telecom, right? That's some domain. Now let me take you to another domain. Like you would be working for Sanofi, you would be working for Johnson & Johnson, you would be working for Bristol Myers. These are pharmaceutical companies, right? Or you could be working for some retail places like eBay or Amazon or whatnot. Or you could be working for like Priceline, or you would be working for TD Ameritrade, or you would be working for Bank of America, or you would be, so any company, doesn't matter. Fill in the blank. What are you going to do? You are going to test. You are going to test their applications. Which applications? Web applications is what you will be testing. Web applications. Web applications, they run in what? They run in a browser. They run in a browser. And what do they have? Basically, they have like images. They have links. And then they have, let's say, a form which they are filling in. So they have like, okay, enter username, enter password, click on that. When you enter a username, whatever username you enter, whatever password you enter, when you click on that, now it will go and then it will give you access to the system. In the system, it will say, welcome back, and the name of that, and then you say, account summary, or depending on what it is, right? So you have to make sure that everything is working the way it is supposed to work. So we will be doing GUI testing here, right? GUI testing. Now, the functionality of this is when you enter a username, password, when you click on that, it'll go to the server, and then it'll depending on if it is the right username and password, it might give you access to the page. If not, it'll give you another page and say, sorry, the password or username combination is incorrect. You want to try again or something like that, right? So that's some functionality. The other functionality, this is just only login test case. There could be 100 different test cases which we have to go and we have to test, right? So we are basically testing the functionality. Now, when you are testing the functionality, there will be, as you might have seen, majority of the companies, depending on what it is, the test cases, you have to have the test cases. So there will be test case, and the test cases usually for login. So you would be creating a login test case. Then there will be like a search, right? If you are testing for a company like Amazon.com, right? So you usually log in there, and then, or maybe if you have an account, you will log in, and then you will search for whatever you will search for. And if you find it, then you will add to the cart, shopping cart. And then after you add to the shopping cart, you would be going into payment, right? And then after you do the payment, there is something called shipping, right? And then you will probably log out, right? So these are different test cases which you would do. So if you have to write this test case in Selenium, if you have to write it, you could use IDE, you could use RC Server, and you could use WebDriver. If you ask me what the industry is using right now, I would say that they are using this. But again, it is important to learn this, and today we will start here, and I will quickly show you how to do that. So we will be creating a automated test scripts for whatever the test case is. It doesn't matter. This is for Amazon. Let's say it's not Amazon, right? It's not Amazon. It's some banking application. Are you basically searching for some adding to cart in the banking? No, it will be something different. You are checking your balance at that time, and then you're making a payment at that time. You're paying a bill, or you're making a deposit at that time, right? So things like that. The test cases are different. It doesn't matter what the test is. The idea here is how to use Selenium to write those test cases. Okay, so right now, just for the sake of the first class, I'm going to keep it, kind of like simple. I'll keep it simple, and just so that I don't want to overwhelm you, don't want to, make you I don't know. I mean, I don't want to discourage you. At the same time, I don't want to hide anything from you from what is coming, right? So I will start off with a simple test case, and then we will complete that test case today, right? So that you have an idea of how automation works. And then after that, I'll show you what we are going to cover as a part of this course in terms of the actual glimpse or the preview, right? Preview of that. So I will show you the code of that. You, of course, you will, and I don't want you to get offended when I say something, because the intent is not to offend you, but to bring to light as what exactly is going to happen. So today, even if I show you the whole code of what we are going to learn, it might not make any sense to you today. But the same thing, the objective is after the 8th session, the whole thing will come together. And forget about 8 sessions. I mean, starting from 3rd or 4th session, you will feel very confident about Selenium. I have seen some people in my previous batches who did not even finish the batch. They were like in the 7th class or 6th class, and then they uploaded their resume, and then they got interviews, and some of them, they passed interview before my course finished. Before my course, because sometimes there will be, like, let's say 4th of July, so you are taking a break in between. So by the time I see them again, it will be like a 1 week of a gap in between. So in those 1 week and all that, since they have already been trying and all that, they already have a job. So if things like that happen to you, don't be surprised, but it doesn't happen to everybody. But there's a big potential, there's a big possibility that it will happen to you as well. So let's get started, and let's create what is called a test case in Selenium. Well, what are we testing in Selenium? A browser or a web application. So which web application we have to go and test? Well, we will have some test case, right? So let's see if I have some test cases here. If I have to create a test case, then, I mean, you are all, I hope you are all manual testers, so you already know as how to write the test cases, right? So you already know that. So let me take you and show you some of the test cases here. Probably there is one from one of our classes which I will take. Give me a second here. We might have a, yeah. So okay, if you are a manual tester, you already know as how to write these test cases. I'm not going to cover that part, right? I'll not show you anything as how to write the test cases and all that. But this is some simple test case. So we will go and work against, or rather, with this test case. So this is written in Excel. It could have been any, test management tool we could have used to write this test case. So let's go with the first one. Here, this test case ID, test case name, and then there's the description, and then the expected results of it, and then the actual results, and then this is the status, whether we are passing it or failing it, and when was this result conducted, and if you have something to say about it, right? Simple as that. Simple as that. So let's start off with the first, test step. The first test step here is of my test case is we are going to do a flight search page. So I have to basically go and then open an application. So I'm testing Travelocity app, right? So I have to go to Travelocity app, and then I have to test that. So let us go to, and it really doesn't matter which one. I tend to take an easier one on day one. So I'm taking this Travelocity. So let's say Travelocity.com. Okay, so once you go in here, what do you want to do? It's taking a selfie. My daughter, they make a lot of fun of me when I do something like that. All right, so let's look into, and then one of the test cases here is this application is all about booking flights or booking hotels, cars, cruises, and all that. All right, so this could be one of the test cases which you could be doing. There could be another test case which we could be doing, which is for this .com, right? We could be doing a test case for that. There could be another test case which could be doing. It could be for something like this right? Or I could be doing it for. So it doesn't matter, right? So, but are we, when you go to work, would you be testing for eBay? No. Would you be testing for Amazon? No. Would you be testing for Travelocity? No. Right? So what application are you going to test? So basically some application which is being built, So make believe that, we can go with this one. This is a very simple application. Here what it is every application you should create a new customer. So this is like a new account. So if it is a new account, look at it. If it is a new account, we have to enter email address, password, verify password, display name, and select what country it is. This is what we have to do, right? Now, the browser which I'm using here, right, is Firefox. I could test it in Internet Explorer, right? I could test it in Internet Explorer, or the same in Internet Explorer I could test it, or I could use Google Chrome, right? This is Google Chrome now. I could use it in Google Chrome. So it really doesn't matter what browser, right? What browser. And but I'm gonna start off. Eventually we'll do the testing in Google Chrome, right? But right now I will not do the testing in Google Chrome. Eventually we'll do the testing in Internet Explorer, but right now I will not do it in Internet Explorer. I will do the testing in Firefox. Right? Let me create the test case and the test scripts in Firefox and run for Firefox, and then later on I will show you how easy it is. Literally one or two words you have to change, which is the name of the browser that you have to change, and it will start working in Google Chrome, it will start working in Opera, it will start working in Internet Explorer, it will start working. So I mean one word you have to change. All right, so let's start off with Firefox. Okay, so here in my Firefox, and this is my test case. Again, the test case should have been written like that, right? But then you will write that test case. So what I am going to do is, I will create a simple test case in English. What is this test case? Here I will type my test case is my objective, or my test case is to test the new account functionality of screencast.com. So that's my objective, right? This is my objective, right? To make sure that this is working. So for that, I should have some test steps. My first test step is open Firefox and navigate to www.screencast.com. That's my first step. Second step, I need to enter my email address in the email text box, let's say. All right, so that's what it is, right? Email is the email text box, and I have to enter and after that, third step is what? Enter password, right? Fourth step is verify password, right? Fifth step is, now as you can see, simple stuff which I'm doing, right? Enter. This is in English I'm doing, right? So now you will see in few seconds how I am going to convert a test case which is in English into Selenium automated, right, test case. How can I do that? So then after that, select country. Okay, now if you see here, enter email address in this. So, and then I will give the value. The value here is, I will put some value. The value, what do you think we should enter into? Any email address, right? So let me just enter my name, right? And let me do, let's do, maybe this is not my email address, right? Of course, it probably would be taken by somebody who did that, but let me just put that. And then as a password, let me just put password, right? Password. And let's say that's that, right? And as verify password, let me just put the same as verify password, right? This is going to be the value of verify password. Display name, let me put my display name as not password, right? Right? Okay. And the country, let me put the country as, because it is United States, let me put Australia, right? Because United States is, if you see, United States is already selected. See that? United States is already selected here. So I want to see the change there. So that's why I want it to be Australia. And then after that, let us go and click on this sign up. So step number 7 is click on sign up button. Okay, so this is basically what I want to do, right? Okay, now I have to go and then create a script, right? Script in Selenium. Okay, now on day one, and this is hour 1, right? We just concluded the first hour. It's 9 o'clock right now. So hour 1, day 1, I don't want to teach you Java. I don't want to teach you Java because, you know, when, let's imagine that we are just babies in this. When a baby is born, you know, they don't start, you know, talking, and then they don't start understanding everything. So you just start off on a very basic level, right? So what we will do is we will take this opportunity to learn as how to record a script. If I have to do it manually, what would I do? I would open. So if I have to do it manually, let me just, according to this instructions, open Firefox. I'm going to come in here, open Firefox. I open Firefox. It is at Yahoo. I would say go to, navigate to screencast. So I created a shortcut for that. So I'm here. What is the next thing now? What is the next thing? So this is manual testing. What is the next thing? Open Firefox. Okay, done. Enter email address in the email text box. Enter this as the email address, right? Okay, I'm going to come in here, enter that, right, at gmail.com. Okay, this is manual. So I don't want to do manual testing. You have been doing manual testing for years. I don't want to do manual testing. What I want to do, automated testing. And in automated testing, the meaning of automated testing is you should come up with scripts. You should create scripts. You should create a script. Now, you should create a script, that is automation. To create a script, you can do a recording, right? Or you can write or build script yourself by writing yourself, creating yourself, right? Creating yourself. So we will look into the recording option right now. So I'm creating a script. In automation is about creating scripts. I'm going to create it using a recording. So which particular out of Selenium, in Selenium there are 3. There is IDE, there is RC, and then there is WebDriver. Which one of the 3 can do recording? WebDriver cannot do recording. RC cannot do recording. Only IDE, Selenium IDE can do the recording. So now today we're going to learn Selenium IDE. So where is Selenium IDE? Do I have Selenium IDE on my machine? Where is it? How can I go and get Selenium IDE? Well, let's do that. Let's go to Google. Somebody asked me a question. Renee asked me a question. Do I have to pay money to buy the tools that I have to train myself here in? Not a single penny. And there is nothing like an evaluation tool. Whatever you get, you own it, you keep it forever, and $0, $0 pennies you will spend. Okay, the first tool which we are going to get is download Selenium IDE, right? Okay, when I say that in Google, it is pointing me to this site. I'm going to click on that site, and this is, consider this site as kind of like this is kind of like the Bible for us. Now, for those of us who don't like the example of Bible, it's any important book, the most important book for you, right? So the most important site for us Selenium guys is the seleniumhq.org. We gotta be coming here again and again and again, right? So why do we come here? Because we will be downloading the free stuff. So today we're going to be downloading Selenium IDE. What else can we download here, right? Okay, we can download IDE, and then we can download Selenium RC Server, and then we can also download the WebDrivers, So as time progresses, we will come back again to download something here. Today, I'm not going to worry about this. I'm not going to worry about the WebDriver today. Today, my focus is Selenium IDE. That's where my focus is. So let us go and then download that. Before I download, right, can I download Eclipse from here? No, you cannot download Eclipse from here. So if you want to download Eclipse, so you will just say, you'll go to Google and you will say, I will show you later on when the time is right, but since you asked, so I said download Eclipse. So you go here, you click on that, and then you could download it. So we will come to that. We will come to in the next class. I will be showing you about Eclipse. Today we will be keeping it to the Selenium IDE. But if you want to download anything like that, right? Now, what other tools I said? Download Firebug. Okay. Now you could download Firebug free. Download FirePath. You could download FirePath free. Download Ant. You could download Ant for free. Download down the road Maven. What is Maven? We'll talk about that. That is free. Everything free. You would say, can you give me this course? Well, I mean, I can do my best. I can give it to you. This is what? If you see here, this is for Selenium courses for $349. I can give it to you for $100, right? You like that deal, right? So here it is, right? 12 courses for 12 months for $1,200. Simple as that, right? So you take 12 courses, so each course will be $100. Why pay $349, right? Why? And some of the folks doing different courses, like we have SOAP UI and we have mobile testing. That's more money. That's $399, $400. Same course, we give it to you for $100. But have you heard about Costco and Sam's, right? You buy more, you get it cheaper. Anyways, let's come back. I don't know why I get myself into things like that. But anyway, so here we are. Now, we are going to go and download this Selenium IDE. To download Selenium IDE, if you are not hearing all this time, let's say if you have your TV on and if you're watching TV and then you're, occasionally listening to what I'm saying here, that's fine. But I want you to, for the next 2 minutes, I want you to pay attention, right? Okay. Selenium IDE, particularly Selenium IDE is a Firefox plugin. Meaning that Selenium IDE will work with Firefox, right? Okay, I know the next question which is coming. Oh, what if I have to do the testing for Internet Explorer? What about Google Chrome? You said you could test. Yes, you could test everything. Bear with me for a few minutes. Just let me take you there step by step. Particularly Selenium IDE, it's a Firefox plugin. And once you get the idea of how it is done in Firefox, as I said, you just change 2 words. Remove Firefox and put Internet Explorer, boom, it starts working for Internet Explorer. remove Internet Explorer and you put like Google Chrome, boom, it will start working. So don't worry about it. Just follow what I am telling. I'll show you such nice, excellent, shortcuts and nice, easy ways to learn this that it will amaze the guy who's going to hire you or the girl who's going to hire you, because you would be knowing a lot of things in here. I'll be teaching you some tricks of the things in here. Anyways, let's come back in here. So we have to go and we have to prepare our machine so that it can download Selenium IDE. Selenium IDE is a Firefox. So you have to come to this site with Firefox. So that's why, remember I was telling you that you could do it in Internet Explorer, but let's not do it today. Yeah, let's not do it today with Internet Explorer. Let's not do it today with Google Chrome. Let's do it with Firefox, because Selenium IDE is a Firefox plugin. So you come with Firefox and you do that. You do what? You have to download the latest version. Latest version is 2.4.0. It was released on 16th of September 2013. So as I download, I'm going to click on that. It will say that Firefox as a browser, you are trying to download something and it might hurt the browser. It might install some software which is not good for it. So do you allow it? So it is asking for your permission. You know that, yeah, you want it. So you would say allow. Now you would think, well, to download something, it might take like an hour or maybe half an hour or maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes. No, it takes about a blink of an eye. Blink of an eye, literally blink of an eye, because it is a plugin. It's a plugin. So if you see, it's a plugin. Plugin means that it's going to sit on top of this browser already. So this is a browser. It is going to sit on top of it. So it is asking your permission. It is saying that you wanted to install Selenium IDE, but while installing Selenium IDE, it will install the following: Ruby formatters, Python, C#. Now you would say, what are these? What are these things? Well, what these things are is, right now you would say install, right? What these things are, you can record, right? When we are using Selenium IDE so that we can record the script. Once you record, there is a way from your recording we can generate the code. We can imagine that. You can generate the code from the recording. You do the recording, you click here, and it will record everything. And then there is a way to convert all your actions into code. And these are the languages it will convert into: Ruby, Python, C#, and Java and all that, right? So we'll say, yes, I need that. So install now. And it's already installed. You would say, what? How did it? Because it's a plugin. It's a plugin. So it says restart now. What is it restarting? It's not restarting your machine. It's just going to restart the Firefox. So I will say restart, Firefox closed, and it will take like, and it starts again. So Firefox started again. So now, basically what it did is, behind the scenes, it added Selenium IDE. So where is it now? You can see it from here. When you right click, right? Many times, if you see my screen here, on the top here, here, if you see on the top here, there is no menus on the top. We have to have the menus. So if this is the case, if there are no menus on the top, and if you want to bring the menus, you go here, right click, and see here menu, it is not checked, you check that. And the menus come back. See, the menus are here. Once the menus comes, go and click on tools. Click on tools. When you click on tools, you will see here Selenium IDE. Selenium IDE. So this is what we have done. We have installed Selenium IDE. What does it take? You go with a Firefox browser, type download Selenium IDE. It will take you to that seleniumhq.org. From there, click on the Selenium IDE latest download, and then it will ask you like, should I restart the browser? It restarts, and lo and behold, what you have is you have this Selenium IDE. And if you take a look in here, now I am seeing all this, right? You will, when you open it for the first time, you won't see it. So because from my previous class, I forgot to make the changes. So it is showing me this. So it will be like that. When you open, it will be like that, literally like that. So let's say you go to tools, you click on Selenium IDE, and this is the tool now. This is Selenium IDE, right? Okay. Now, before I get into Selenium IDE, Any questions from your side? Since how long does Selenium came into existence? I would say about 4 years. About 4 years. The first 2 years, somewhere around like 2009, I would say 2009 and 2010, it really picked up. Earlier, it was Selenium IDE and Selenium RC Server. There was no WebDriver. WebDriver actually came in the year late of 2011, right? Around I think August and September of 2011. I think WebDriver came out, right? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me, or are you having a little trouble with? Okay, thank you, Renee. And I think, Nanetta, I think you have at your end, there is something at your end, Nanetta. So let me just, if she cannot hear me, then she cannot hear me. If I'm telling her that there is something, so I got to type to her. Try reconnecting back. Okay. One second, just bear with me. I just have to send her this. Okay, so she probably is doing that. She logged out and then she would come back, and then that will be fine. Whenever you have consistent issues with the audio, if you're not able to hear me, basically what happens is it's an internet class, right? So if there's a problem with my internet connection, then all of you would suffer from that, meaning that I would not be audible to all of you. But if I'm audible to all of you except whoever is not able to hear me, then it could be the internet connection at their end. If they are on a wireless, and if the whole family is on wireless watching Netflix movies in the other room, well, then they are consuming the bandwidth, and then they won't be able to hear my stuff. Okay, so Naneda, you just go out and come back in, and then you should be fine. Okay, so now before I start talking about Selenium IDE, any questions from your side, guys? Anything so far? I've been talking for a little hour and a half, not half, hour and 15 minutes now. Any questions you have? Any questions so far? Anything which is bothering you? Anything which you are unable to understand what I'm saying? Let me know. If not, let us continue. Okay, so Rajni is asking a question, will you teach us Python too? The short answer to that is no, I will not teach Python in this course. But if you want to know a little bit of Python, I have, if you can see here, I do lot of trainings, right? So we have QTP, and we have Android, we have Apache Server, Bugzilla, we have Cucumber, .NET, and then GitHub, Hadoop, Java, and JMeter, Load Runner, manual testing, mobile testing, this, that. So I have some Python videos, few here and there I might be able to share, but not in this course. We will not be doing Python. This course is all about Java. Can we see Selenium IDE and Firebug on the same screen? I will come to that in a second. I will be walking you through. So we will be creating a script, right? So I will walk you through the whole thing. By the end of the session, you would have a pretty good idea of how to do the recording, and the scripting part I will show it to you. And starting next class, we'll be downloading Eclipse, and then we will be doing Eclipse. Now, just a glimpse of where we are going to go in this course. Just a glimpse of that. As I said, I will be teaching you everything to create frameworks, right? So we will be creating a a framework that is going to use a JUnit and a TestNG framework, and we'll be using Ant, and we'll be using Maven, all that good stuff. So for that, we'll be using Eclipse. So in the next class, I will be showing you everything about how to download Eclipse, where to download Eclipse from, how to start creating a project, and how do you create a project in Eclipse and all that. That is coming in the next class. Today, before I get into Selenium IDE, I just wanted to give you an idea of how fast forward like 6-7 weeks, 6-7 sessions, and we are into the 4th week and last class, let's say. What the amount of stuff which you would be learning, I will just give you, not explain you, no nothing, but just give you a glimpse, a preview of where you will get in the next 4 weeks. So even though we are here today, right? We are here today with the Selenium IDE, but our objective, our goal is to go into and write the code in Java in Eclipse, right? So it's loading. I mean, my machine takes a little bit extra time to load because of the fact that I have I don't want to say junk, but then there's a lot of stuff in here. Okay, so if you see here, these are some different courses that we have been doing here. So let me just it's still loading, so give me a second and it'll be done. It'll be done with the loading, and then I can show it to you. I'll pick up any particular day and I will show you as what exactly we cover as a part of that. And usually day 2 is introduction to Eclipse. So in the next class I will introduce you to Eclipse and I'll do all that. Okay, now let me go away. So if you see here, we are going to create frameworks, right? So let me take you, let's say here, right? Some class in February. So right, so if you see here, this is all you would be learning as a part of this, right? So all of this is what you would be learning, right? So quite a bit of stuff, right? Take any day, quite a bit of stuff which you'll be learning, right? Some of the projects which we have been working on, they are pretty in-depth, so as you can see, these jar files and all that. And so we will be doing some heavy duty stuff in here. We will be, right? So that's where we are going with this. I will be teaching you a lot of stuff, and the idea here is you will be ready for the prime time. When you get out of this course, you'll be ready for the prime time, because the code which we will be building, you could pretty much copy paste that code and keep it in your flash drive or in your Google Drive, and when you go to work, you can literally copy paste that code and starts to work with some minor modifications here and there, right? So it's a very good investment of your time into this if you have chosen to go into Selenium. That's a good decision. I mean, whether you do it with me or if you are looking at some other school, it really doesn't matter, but it's a good thing to get into, right? What's that saying? A known devil is better than an unknown friend, or something like that, right? So if you have taken a course with me, so you know this devil, right? So I guess it's not that bad, right? So you can continue to have a relationship, and then you could learn a lot. Anyways, let's go back and talk about today's class. So that was a brief glimpse of what is coming in near classes, in the near future classes. Okay, over here we have to go ahead and we have to translate this English into English test steps into Selenium IDE script. Okay, so when I opened it, like any other tool, this has got its own menu items here on the top, right? And it has, this is like its toolbar, and it has a section on the left side. And as you can see, it has a section on the right side. There are two parts to it. The one on the right side, there is this part, and then this is bottom part, right? Bottom part. So now we will go and this is an empty thing right now. I will go and then create a test case. If I'm creating a test case, right, it already opened with an untitled test case. So I have to go and then I have to give it a name. So I will, when I save this test case, right, save test case as, when I do that, right, I want to follow a proper process here of organizing my test cases, where I'm going to save them. I'm just not going to save them anywhere and then later on, struggle to find like where did I save and all that. So what I will do here is I will go in C drive. I will create a folder called Selenium, and that I did. If you go here and take a look here, I created a folder called Selenium. Inside Selenium, you will create another folder. So I created a folder IDE test cases, right? Because it's a test case, so I did. So here are my test cases that I have created all along, right? All this time. All right. So what I am going to do is I am going to save file, save test case as, in that C drive Selenium IDE, and I will give it a name. The name I will give it is, this is what, day 1, and I will call screencast, and this is new account test case, right? Such a large big name. Forget about day 1 part of it, right? Just say screencast new account test case. Hit save, and that's the name here, right? Okay. Now, am I going to type anything here, or am I going to record it? So we agreed that we'll be recording. Okay, to record, basically what happens is, if you see here, this red button, if you look into this red button, that red button is a toggle, meaning that it is a switch. Right now it says that, hey, you're already in the recording mode. Now you are in recording mode. It says, click to stop recording. So it is recording right now. What is it recording? I did not do anything that for it to record. But where can I do something that it can record? Well, you have to do, this is the address. This is where you have to do. In my last class, I did it for screencast. So that's why it is showing screencast there. Otherwise, that will be empty. So we have to go and we have to type here the name of the server where we want to go. So screencast.com. This is the website I want to test. So this is the first one. Okay. All right. So Naneda, I guess you still have issues because everybody else is going to hear me properly. They are hearing me properly. So you probably have some issue here. Okay. So this is where we are going to test, right? We are going to record all my actions from here. Now, when I perform any actions on this website, they get recorded here. So there is something called a command. There is something called a target, and then there is something called a value. There's something called a value. Okay, so Nanera, it is okay for everybody else. So I think there is a problem at your end because I have about 18 to 20 people in here. Nobody is having an issue. So I would think that probably it's the internet connection at your end, right? So it could be something at your end. If it was a problem, then everybody else would have complained, but they are not, right? Yeah, she can't. I mean, occasionally she's like in and out. So she just told me at 9:27 that your audio turned off, and at 9:28 she told me that it came back. So kind of like in and out. But anyway, let's come back. So here, command, target, and value. These are the things. Now, notice that they're also here. Command, target, value. So what is happening? What happens here is every time I will do something in this browser, right? Every time if I go here and do something in screencast, right? So I will go and in screencast, I will probably go and then enter something in here, right? So whenever I do that, in here, it will start to record a line. So it will do this. It will each action will put a line here. Will put a line. Second action, it'll put a line here. Third action, it'll put a line here. So if I want to change something for this particular action, when I highlight it, when I select it, it will show me the command value, the target value, and this values, whatever it is, it's going to show me here. So rather than talking about it, why don't I do it and then show it to you? So basically what is going to happen is I am going to go and run my test case. According to my test case, I have to open Firefox and navigate to screencast.com, which I did, right? So let me, one more time, let me do that. Let me open. So here is my Firefox, Mozilla Firefox. I opened it. Let me navigate to that. So I did that first step. So I can say that, okay, this first step is done. This is done. What is the second thing? Enter email address of this into the email address box. Let me do that. So I will come in here, right? And I go in and enter an email address, any email address, right? Doesn't matter. So I am going to do that. I mean, I don't want you to know that that's my email address because it is not. So because sometimes and the reason I have to say these things is because I learned from my past experiences. Somebody, because I took this example and then they said, we wrote you so many emails, you never, if you write to me at this address, yeah, that guy, whoever that is, probably he's like thinking, what happened? I mean, all of a sudden I keep getting like, help me here, help me there. But that poor man, he also did not do anything. So this is not my address anyway. Okay, so I did that, right? So I did this part. Okay, now I am going to, this is done. Now I am going to enter the password as password, and let's do that. So I will go in here, put password, and I will go in here, put password, right? And display name, I will put something, right? And let's say, and here I will select Australia. Where's Australia? Okay, you would say why Australia? It has to be some country, so Australia. All right, now I have to go and then click on this sign up, right? I will not do that, right? There's a reason I am not doing it, but I would not do that. So we have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps, right? 5 steps I have done, these 5 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me see if it recorded all these 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of this I did, right? So let me see if it did the recording. Where is it going to do the recording? In my IDE. And as you can see, it has these steps. So the first step here. Now notice here, this is empty. Now when I select this, and it is selecting whatever is in here. If I select that, it selects that. Now let us start to understand what is this. This means that open this URL. Open this. So open an URL which is mentioned as the base URL. This / is base URL. So we don't really have to give the value here because the value is already here, right? Okay. After it does that, type this value in this target. Type this. Now you might be wondering, like, how does it know that this box is ID equals email, right? And then next, type password into ID equals password. So you are wondering, like, how does it know this is that, how does it know? Now basically, if you know about HTML, in HTML, if you have to create any thing on a page, whether that is this button or this text box or this image, you have to write some HTML code. That HTML code, right, would be something like input type equals text, right, and name equals txt name, and something like that, right? This is going to be HTML code, right? So these days, rather than using name, you can use ID, particularly with HTML5 and Ajax and JavaScript and all that. Now you want to identify an element by the attributes, and name is one of the attributes. They want ID to be used. So ID equals that. So in other words, it's saying that it will know from the HTML. It will know. Now we are not looking into the HTML. If I go in here and if I look into the page source, I will see this page source. I don't want to look into that because, let's say, as a tester, I don't know any of this. Let's say I don't know any of this as a tester, right? So we don't have to worry about it, because when you are recording, all this is happening. Now in my next class, I will, or maybe if there is good time today left, I will teach you something about other tools like Firebug and FirePath. So Firebug and FirePath are those tools which will interrogate. It will question this element and say, what is your name? And then this element will tell Firebug, my name is, and then it will tell whatever its name is. So what is its name? Its name is here. Its name is ID equals email. So I did not ask it, but while recording Selenium IDE, while recording Selenium IDE got the name of that element. Likewise, it got the name of that, got the name. So we have all of this. This is my script now, right? Okay, now let's say I want to run this script. So let me just clear everything from here. Everything is clear from there. Now I want to run the script and see if the script runs. How can I do that? Basically, to run anything, to run the script, I have these two buttons to run, those green buttons. You would say, why two? Why not one? Right? The reason for that is, if you see here, this is only one test case. Maybe I will have one more test case, one more test case, one more test case. When I have more test cases, this will become a test suite. This will become a test suite. So if you want all the test cases inside the test suite to run, then you will go with this option. If there's only one, you go with this option. Right now I have only one. So I'm going to go with this option. Before I run, notice here, right? Let me go here and see, right? Just bring your mouse. It is still recording. So if I do something here, it will record. So my script is over. Actually, I have to click here, right? Which I will record. But I want to stop this recording. I stop the recording. So toggle. Now if I bring my mouse, it will say click to record. So it's a toggle. Now it is recording. So make sure that you stop the recording. Next thing you want to do here is you want to go ahead and you want to run the script. Now, before I run the script, okay, can you please explain why the target and the value did not populate in the script? This one. Basically what happens is, if you the open means that go ahead and open the browser to this address. So if you have already given the base URL here, you don't have to give it here, right? Otherwise you could basically cut from here and put it in here if you want, in the value, right? Here you could do that. But because of the fact that it is already here, you don't have to do it here, right? So that's the meaning of that. Okay, now we have this thing created, right? Now let us go and let us run the script. So before I run the script, I want you to look that this is all empty. Now we will run the script. And keep your eyes here. Also keep your eyes on the flow here. I am intentionally here, somewhere here. I'm here. I'm not in the here, but somewhere here. Just to show you that when I do that, it you are like, what? You're like, what? I mean, not even a second and it's over. No, show me the movie again in slow motion. Slow motion. Okay, yes, sir. Here is the slow motion. See my mouse here? My mouse here is the fast, this is the slow motion. Slow motion. So let me just clear the browser. Everything is new. There is nothing in there. And we go in the slow motion, right? Okay. Now notice here, it's right here and right here, right here, right here, right here, right there, Australia. So everything ran, everything did according to whatever we wanted it to do, right? This is recording. This is recording. Now the screencast. So if I save this, if I close this and come back tomorrow, and if I open this, I say file, open, and go to that and then pick it up and run it, it'll run. So this is a recording of it. Now this is very little piece of that. Now if I take it to a huge application, and if I say we want to do a testing of all of this, sure, you can do that with IDE. What is wrong? Why can't you do it with IDE? You can do it with IDE. But if something changes here down the road, and if you don't know what happened, the script will fail, and then you would not know why it is failing and all that. And there are some limitations of this. Now let's say tomorrow, if they change and if they are no longer using the display name, they remove this display name. So now you have to know which one from this is that, and now you want to remove this. Can I remove this? So you right click here and then you could delete that. If you delete that, what would happen? Now what if I go in here, and if I come here, and if I try to rerun my script, right? It is going, opening, doing that, password, doing that, Australia, my script runs. But if I have to do this again, how can I do this again, right? Now, there's a two possibility. By mistake, I might have deleted it. I have to bring it back. How can I bring it back? Now, you would say, do a Control Z, right? Okay, I did a Control Z and it came back. But let's say it's permanently gone. It's permanently gone. I saved it. I went back home. I slept. I came back after 2 weeks. And now, oh, we have to put it back. So what do we do at that time, right? So basically, what we got to do is we have to, if we are doing the recording, right? So if we delete a step and if we have to do the recording, you come to that step again and you record again. So let's say if I delete this one, if I right click on that and if I delete that, so that's gone now, right? And I have to record that. I have to record it. Now, there are two ways of doing that. I would say that, come on, I'm not going to record it. I'm going to type the script because I know Selenium now. I'm going to type the script. Well, if you want to type the script, it is between open and this password I have to type. So right click, insert new command. So when you did insert new command, here is what we are doing. And what are we doing? What is the command for that? Command for that is type. So type. And typing what? Typing that, right? Now, the question is where it should type. When we recorded, we knew it interrogated this and it found out that, oh, this is, somehow it found out that this is ID equals email or something, right? Now, I literally, I forgot what it was. I forgot. Believe it or not, I forgot. How many of you remember? I mean, you might say that it was ID equals email. So maybe we are just guessing ID equals email, but let's say if I say email ADD, let's say, right? And if I try to run it now, first of all, I got to clear this. So I go in here and then running it, that's clear. So now I will go, and I don't know what it was, but I wrote that code. Let me just run it and see what happens. So here it is trying. It goes there and it failed right there. Big red, fail, right? Big red, fail, because it could not identify that. So now the question is, how do you identify an element? For that, on a let's say if I have to go and click on this one, how do you identify that? For that, there is a tool for that, right? So we'll go to Google and we will download something called a Firebug. So here is Firebug. I will download Firebug. Now, if you take a look into Firebug, right? What is Firebug? Firebug is a Firefox browser, Firefox plugin, add-on, right? So now there are different versions of Firebug based on Firefox version. So now the question is, what version of Firefox are we using? Now, Internet Explorer, the whole world knows about Internet Explorer. Or you say IE 9, IE 10, IE 7, IE 8. Now, Firefox, very few people they know about it. But how would you find out? Go into Help, go into About Firefox. And I am using the latest and the greatest, right? So 22. Now, this is 24. So it is saying that if you have 24, download Firebug 1.12.4. If you have an older one compatible with Firefox, I have 20 what? I have 20 what? I have 22. If I have 22, I cannot even use that. I have to use this one, 1.11. So download this one. So I will go ahead, download that. So when you go and then when you download that, right, basically you should not actually be downloading it. You should be adding that add-on to it. So you should be adding that add-on. So how do you do the add-on? You will go into Tools and you would say add-on, and then you would go and then you would click on this, or you say get add-on, and it will show you all the add-ons which are available. It will show you all the add-ons which are available, and then you could get that add-on. Or in my case, if you see, I have this Firebug 1.11.1, right? So once you have that, if I remove it, it will be gone. But once you download, once you get that add-on, what happens is that add-on will show up here. This is that add-on, Firebug is that add-on. So what I have to do is I have to open Firebug now. So here is what I will open Firebug. F12 will open my Firebug. Once I open my Firebug, next thing is I will go to the application. I'll go to the application, which is the application was my screencast, right? I can close this, right? I can go to screencast, and I want to find out this one now, right? So let me do here. Let me do F12. F12 will bring this thing. Will bring this. Now see this. One second. See this bug. Right next to the bug, there is this inspect element. It is called inspect element. These are all elements on a page. So you want to inspect an element. So the way you inspect an element is, see here, you come here, click an element in the page to inspect. So I click on that, and as you can see, that blue line, if I go here, that's a blue line, right? Blue border. I have to come here and I will select it. So click on that to select. When you do that, it will give you here in the bottom, if you see here, input ID equals email. So that is how you will figure out that, this one is ID is not email address. ID is equal to email. Now that we fixed that ID equals to email, now you can go and then you could run it. And then as you can see, my test should work there. See, it is working fine and everything should be green, good to go. Now the question is, I had typed that code. If you had not typed the code, if you have to record it, if you have to record it, how would you record it? So let's say this password is gone. Intentionally, unintentionally, password was deleted. So I have this email and this password too. And I have to record this password now. I have to record this password. So how do I do that, right? How do I do that? So for that, basically, the question here is this similar to object spy in QTP? Exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's the object. Now, object spy has more things in there. Here, you have very little things in here, right? How can we handle dynamic data, example, date, etc., in Selenium IDE? Selenium IDE has got certain restrictions. Selenium IDE cannot do everything. So that is why we have to go into and write the code here. That is where we will go and then we'll write the code. So Selenium IDE, there is no conditional logic. I cannot be going and then doing some coding in Selenium IDE. If I want to do parameterization of data, let's say here, how many times I can go and then I can test it now. I mean, every time if I have to go and test with different accounts, every time I have to come in here, type the name of the guy, type a password. Now, if I have to have all that data in a database or maybe in an Excel sheet, I cannot do all that here with an IDE. So IDE has got very limited capabilities. IDE can only produce, these recordings, and then basically, if you have to do anything more, then you have to go into scripting. In Selenium, is there a feature to run the script for multiple iterations? Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have to. Not here. There is no looping here. You cannot do the looping here. Only one iteration here. In IDE, only one iteration. But in WebDriver and in that, you have multiple. You have to write a for loop. See here. For int I equals 0 to the total number of rows, you have to go and then do this, right? So you have to go and then bring the data into an array and then do that. So all that, which is what we will be doing. Can you tell us what are the limitations in IDE? Limitations of IDE basically is you cannot, there is no intelligence built into IDE, meaning that you cannot do conditional logic. You cannot say if the password field is not there, do something. You cannot say that, right? You cannot say if the password field is not there, stop the test. You cannot say that. And you cannot do multiple loopings, right? So there is no intelligence in IDE in the sense that you cannot do conditional logic, which is if statements you cannot test. You cannot do a looping, for loop and all that. You cannot connect to an external repository and do parameterization of data. The only good thing about IDE is it will help you do the recording, and there is one extra thing which IDE does, which is why you will, even though you become a 10-year expert in Selenium, you would still go back to IDE. There is one feature of IDE that will make you keep coming back to IDE, right? And I will talk about that feature tomorrow. I'll talk about that feature tomorrow. Now, today, basically, I'm not going to show you that feature today, and I will show you that feature tomorrow. But that is the reason people keep coming back to IDE. What they do is they record everything in IDE. And then if you have to do a testing for very large application, let's say, so they will record everything in IDE, and there is a way of converting the code of whatever you see here. Everything can be converted into Java or Python or C# or whatever you want to convert it into. You can convert that into that, right? So once you convert that, you will bring it into a particular tool. That tool can be Eclipse. Or that tool can be your Visual Studio or NUnit, or that tool can be. So it depends on what you are trying to convert it into, what programming language. Is that C#.NET? Is that going to be Java? Is that going to be Perl? Is that going to be Python? Somebody asked me a question like, are you going to teach Python? Now, Python or Java or anything you take, there are minor, these are the things, any programming language you are going to learn, these are the things which you should learn about any programming language, right? So what you should learn, you should start off with variables, right? Whether it is Java, C#, Python, Perl, PHP, you should know how to use variables, how to create variables, right? And how to assign values to variables, and how to use variables in your script, whether it's a Python script or Perl script or what, right? So variables is very important. Then comes arrays. You have to know about single dimensional arrays, how to create a single dimensional array, how to create a multiple dimensional arrays, multi-dimensional arrays, right? And you should know as how to basically create, right? And how to assign values and how to use these in your script. Then you should know about functions, right? Again, how to create them, how to use them. And when you are creating functions, functions can be, there is something called overloaded functions. So you have to know about how to create overloaded functions, how to create them. So we will be learning all of these things as a part of this course, right? And then we'll be looking into not overloaded functions, we'll be looking into objects. We'll be looking into objects. Where does the objects come from? In objects, you have something called properties, right? So we'll be looking into properties of object. We'll be looking into methods of object. And when you deal with objects, then indirectly you're dealing with classes too. So you have to have an idea of something called when an object is what? Instantiated. When an object is instantiated, how do you do? Now these are big words. These are big words. Now when you hear this, you're like, what the heck? What is he saying? But trust me, it can be very, very, very easy. Very easy. It's simple concepts, right? It all depends, like, and I'm going to make it very quick because I have about 4 or 5 minutes. When I was doing my master's about 12, 15 years back, when I was doing my master's in computer science, we used to have a professor who used to work for IBM. Imagine, working for IBM, and he used to come and then teach it in the evening. And I was in a very good school, lot of what do you call, good students in there and all that. So we all would sit, and he would come and then he would give examples, like totally abstracted examples, totally out of this world. Now the whole semester, 3 semesters, we would sit in there and try and understand, and he was teaching us data structures, and then so object-oriented programming, right? He used to talk about for almost about like 2-3 months. He talked about object-oriented programming, and I can tell you, at the end of the course, we were almost still at the same point where we were when we joined the course. Right now, because the way he was talking to us, like we were IBM guys, he was very, very knowledgeable guy. But there is a way to, like, talk and make sure that you make others understand. So he was talking to us on an IBM level, and we are like 22-year-old students. What do we know about the guy, the way he was talking? So the point here is, even though I am using these words, instantiation, overloading, we'll be talking about constructors. I will be showing you how constructors can be overloaded. But this is going to be very simple stuff. I will give you examples. I'll show it to you. I'll make sure, I guarantee you that when you are done with this course, you will be able to go and teach object-oriented programming. Forget about understanding. You will be able to teach somebody object-oriented programming. You will tell them, okay, did you call the constructor? Was constructor overloaded? Did you look into that function? Is this function overloaded? How many parameters did you pass to it? Simple as that, right? Again, I know You are a tester. You are not a programmer. So I am going to explain you in such a way that you understand it. When you sit in your company in an agile environment where developers are talking, you should not be like sweating there. You should not be like, what the heck these guys are doing? I know nothing. No, you will have a lot of confidence. You will go there. You will understand everything, what they are talking about. Maybe you're not a programmer. You're not creating classes, but you will be using classes. You will be using objects. That's basically what we will be doing as a part of this. You see that over here? That's what we will be doing. We have done it for the previous classes, all this. So we'll do it for you as well. Anyways, let's come back and complete this. So we were discussing about having a password in there. How can I have the password? So over here I come and I will start the recording again. So I'm just gonna move this, right? And I will select this and I will record, and I will come here and I will type password, right? And just get out, and I will go back and I will stop the recording. Now intentionally, just so that you can see the difference between this password and this password, here I just type password within zero, within 0 as a number, not O as in password. So that's why, so that you could see the difference here. So if you see, this is the 0 password. So that's what got added. So this was not there. I recorded, I added that. Now let us go and then run the script and see if my script is going to work or not. So I have the new recording here. Let me just run the script again and see if everything is good here. So we looked into let's see. Okay, that's that. So my test is passed. Right? Everything is here. Now I gave you, because I started small, I started like, with a very small test case. In real life, it's going to be here. There are 5 lines, right? There are going to be 55 lines, right? In real life, let it be 55 lines. What's the big deal? You know how to record. Now I am not taking you in here, because once I take you in here, I have to show you about validation or checkpoints, right? Validation and checkpoints. That is where we will start in the next class. That is where, because after I click it, I will go and I will do some validation. I will show you the checkpoints and all that. That's where we're going to start in the next class. Okay, so today let's do a summary of basically whatever we have covered. So I talked about Selenium. I told you Selenium comes in 3 forms: Selenium IDE, Selenium RC Server, Selenium WebDriver. When you are going to create this Selenium automated script, which we just did, you could do it by recording using Selenium IDE. So you have to go and get Selenium IDE. I've shown you where to go, how to go, download, and you get the Selenium IDE. Once we have the tool, then I showed you how to create a new test case and how to record all of these instructions. As we recorded this, right? So after we record everything, I showed you how to run in the fast mode, how to run in the slow mode, and then I intentionally deleted something in here, and I typed that, explaining you about the command and the target and the value. In order to find out where we are typing, what is the target, we had to find out that element. In order to find that element, we have to go and get what? Firebug. So I showed you how to go and get the Firebug. We downloaded Firebug, and I showed you the use of the Firebug. And then now we got the ability to check anything. This one, that one, that one, that one. So here, because of password within 0 and here within O, it says that password did not match, right? So that's fine. So now if you want to go and then if you want to use the Firebug in any possible ways, you can use that. Go here and bring up the Firebug, and after you open the Firebug, you will go and click on that, and then if you want to find out what is this, you can do that. If you want to find out what is that, you click on that, and here it is. It is ID equals sign in button. So if I want to click on this, what would my command be? Over here I would have said, if I want to click here, I have to find out, and I could type that command. I could come in here and I could type that command. What would be the command? Am I selecting? Am I typing? What am I doing here on this command? What am I doing here? right? You would say that I think you're clicking on that. Sure, I am clicking. So I would go and then click. Now, by clicking, if I'm going to the other page and if I have to wait for the other page, I will say click and wait. Okay, click and wait. Where are you clicking and waiting? On this one. How can I say what this is? Easy, easy. How easy it is? You will go here and you would say, come on, my friend, right? You say, Firebug, come on, help me. Firebug comes here. You'll say that, okay, show me the element. So you click on that, you come in here, you click on that, and you say that, ID equals sign up button. So I'm going to take this ID equals sign up button, and I'm going to come in here, and I will go in here, and I will say in the target, ID equals sign up button. And once I do that, right, there's no value. Value is if you want to show something into the box or something. There's nothing in here. So I said click and wait, and I said ID equals sign up button. Now, just for the heck of it, if I did everything right, if I run this, it should do da, 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 and then it should click me and take me there. Let's see if it does that. So here we go. It is going to type my name. It is going to do that, do that, do that, do that, do that. And now, right? Okay, so it came back and it was trying to click on that. It came back. So how are we going to fix that? So because the password should not match. So you would say that, oh, come here and fix it. I'm going here. No, don't go here. Go here, right? And this should be password. Okay, we did that. Run it again. Right, run it again. So now if you are running it again, right, so now notice that it was in the run mode right now. It was in the run mode. So what do? You stop that and then you run it again. So you come in here, you go here, and this is where it failed. So we go and then we run it again. So here we start. Okay, open, type Irfan and password, and it should go and click on my sign up, and as you can see, it did click on that. Now it came back and says that this is already used. So we can very easily fix that. You come in here and you say that, oh, since the display name is already used, why don't we call this as TR, training right, and only that, right? Okay, so now we will, I am here. Let me be on Google. And let's do this, right? Let's do this. I am in Google, right? And let me, almost finishing. I know that I passed like 5 minutes. So here we go. So from Google, it came to screencast. It is typing my name. It is typing password. It is typing that, and click on sign up. And lo and behold, we have, thank you for creating this account. Right? So I need to capture this into my test case and do some validation. That's where we are going to start in the next class. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Just wondering, how is the tool able to recognize and record the events? What technologies used to develop IDE? The IDE itself is built. The IDE itself is built. If you look into it, this tool is written. The whole tool itself is written in JavaScript. It is written. There is a very good commentary about how Selenium came into existence. So you could go into that seleniumhq.org and read the whole history of that, like how this tool came into existence. The code for this is not Java. It is JavaScript. JavaScript is used in this tool, right? So that is not necessarily, we don't need all that, but that's what it is. The only advantage you are saying is we can see the coding in different languages for IDE. That is one of the biggest advantage. Yeah. Okay, so I guess that's it. I am done for the day, and I will be seeing you folks again on Monday. Now, for those of you folks who are sitting on the edge and thinking of like taking this course or not taking this course, Well, if you want to take this course, you can go to our website, register it, and then immediately you're going to get all the videos. If you are still thinking, I understand that, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you. And yes, Amuda, Rajesh, this is recorded, and I will upload the video in about 45 minutes because that's the time it takes to process the video. All right, from my side, I'm done for the day. No more new topics, nothing we are teaching right now. So I'm going to stop the recording. If you have any questions, we can have like a few minutes Q&A, and I will take your questions. Now, for the rest of you folks, have a very good night, and have a nice weekend coming up. I'll see you on Monday. Have a good one.